Hey, 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 what do we got cooking today? I've got my calavera apron on, matching my Halloween hair. So, last week I did an inventory of my freezer, and I found a couple of bags of leftover ham from last year. Hams are this big, there's 3 of us. There's no way we're going to eat it all. So I had packed up 2/3 of it into individual bags. So I had a 3rd bag and a 3rd bag. And so the first 3rd bag got turned into pea soup, and split pea soup to be exact, with, potatoes and carrots and mise au plat of, all that celery and all that stuff. And, and I cooked it all day, and when I got home, it was gone. So I think the boys like the pea soup. But I still had a bunch of ham left over, which is this all nicely chopped up super fine. And so when you have ham, you've got to make scalloped potatoes. And scalloped potatoes is one of those very, very easy to make recipes. It's easy for me because I've been doing it for 40 years, and I can do it blindfolded. But the first thing that you're going to start out with is potatoes. I only have Yukon Golds in my house. I don't have Idahos, but whatever potato you like to use. I personally like Yukon Gold because they're easier. So I do about 2 potatoes per person. And what you want to do is you want to slice them about 1/4 inch thick. So what I did with these potatoes is that I actually boiled them for about 8 to 10 minutes, just enough so that they're kind of cooked, but not like fall apart cook. You want them to have a little bit of bite to them, because they're going to cook when they get in the white sauce, which you hear a little sizzling over there. Woo! Yes, even good cooks almost cut their fingers. So yeah, you want to cook them, cut them about that thick. Okay, so I've got a pan where I've done 1 layer of the potatoes, and I've greased the pan. That's what you're seeing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit of these chopped ham. Well, that one's being weird. I'm going to have to play with that one. So you want to put like a little layer of ham and a little layer of potatoes. And then we're going to add our white sauce, but we got to make our white sauce, so watch me while I make the white sauce. So over here, we're gonna go flying, so hang on. Okay, so now we're in the cooking zone. Let me put a little light on so y'all can see it. So what I've got going is a stick of butter, and I've got my pot on low, and we're gonna make what's known as a roux. Okay, and what a roux is just flour. We're literally making a thin white sauce, which is the basis for SOS, sausage gravy, and a million other recipes. So I've got about 1/2 cup of flour here. I'm probably not going to use all that, but start out with a couple of tablespoons. I have a whole stick of butter that's melted in here. So 1, 2, and let's go 3. So probably about 1/4 cup of okay, we can go just a little bit thicker. I'll show you what I'm doing in here. So you see how it's kind of getting a little thick. We want it a little bit thicker, so we're gonna do like 1 more tablespoon, and that should start us with a roux. 2 more tablespoons. So what you want is that flour to start incorporating into the butter and thickening the butter a little bit. So can you see what's going on in here? I know it's kind of weird, but anyways, I'm gonna. Okay, so this is unsalted butter that I used. So you know what? I'm gonna use the rest of this flour because I'm used to it seizing, and it hasn't seized yet. But that should be plenty, because you want, when you're making a roux, you want 1-to-1, so I had, you know, 8 ounces of butter, so I just added 8 ounces of flour. So I think, yeah, about that. About a cup? Yeah, okay. So we're going to cook it for about 2 minutes, and that's going to allow for the flour taste to cook out of the roux, and it's going to allow for all of those starch molecules to pull together and do all that starchy goodness stuff that it does. You know, I'm thinking I need a little more flour. So I'll be right back. Because this is just not pulling together the way I like it to. So, just two more tablespoons. Then I think we're going to be good. So, yeah. See how it's seizing up? That's what we want. We want it to turn into like kind of a thicky paste. So that's what we got going on there. We got kind of a thicky paste going on, and that's perfect. Now we need to cook that for about 2 minutes or so. You know, your classic white sauce just really is literally flour, milk, butter, salt, and pepper. That's it. I mean, there's nothing fancy about it. Now, you know, there's other sauces that, you know, you add things to this basic white sauce, and then you have other sauces like bechamel and stuff like that. But this is just your basic white sauce, and so it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Let's cook it just a little bit longer. I personally think in this particular recipe, salt and pepper is totally fine, but I always like to throw in a little Tony's, because everything's better with Tony's. And I'm in the South, so, you know. So, as this cooks up, I'm going to show you what I'm doing with the milk. Whenever I do scalloped potatoes, I like to use canned milk as one of the milks. It's kind of like a tres leches deal, because I've got some half and half, and I've got some whole milk that is a little, yeah. So it's, you know, and whenever you find milk in your fridge, you know, always smell it first to make sure that it's okay before you use it and ruin your recipe. So I've got a little half and half, and I've got a little whole milk. So, and then this is just about, you want it so that it's bubbling, and it's not quite bubbling yet. So let's keep it going. Cranked up my heat just a little bit to kind of speed this up for y'all. Well, while this cooks up, I'm going to make another layer of potatoes. So, I'm just going to get that going. I got my potatoes. Ideally, you want to put like at least one layer of sauce in between your layers of potatoes, but since there's plenty of holes in this, the sauce is going to go right through, so I'm not too worried about that. So, and our white sauce is getting a little bubbly. It's going to need a little love in just a second, just enough time for me to get some more of these potatoes going. I like to do about 2 potatoes per person. In this case, my bag was just about done, so this is about 8 potatoes altogether. So, another layer of ham. This is what's known as Diet Buster, because there's nothing diet about this one. Alrighty, so we're foaming and we're seizing. And just like maybe just a little, this goes pretty fast, so we'll just kind of give it just a couple more seconds, because it's not exactly where I want it. So I'm going to add a little bit more ham. I don't know if you can see, but Baku's all like, Mom's got ham. Yeah, so Baku's got ham. Baku's happy now because Baku has ham. Okay, so we are foaming. We are good. Our white sauce is white saucing. Oh, it needs just a little bit more, just a little tiny bit more. So let's keep on going. Be back in a minute. All right, our roux is perfect now. It's got just a tiny bit of color on it. It's nice and bubbly, and it's ready to go. Now, the first thing that you do is you need to add just a tiny bit of milk to it, and it'll start to seize up. See how it's turning into like a gloopy glop? Okay, so now this is literally an add and stir, and you gotta be fast about it. So I'm going to add my pan and keep on stirring. Now, stirring is how you avoid lumps. So I'm stirring and stirring and stirring and stirring, and we're doing good. Okay, so now it's beginning to seize again because it needs more moisture because of all of that flour that we've got in there, and I'm getting a little bit of a workout. So always smell your milk, because you never know. We've added more milk. We're going to keep on stirring, 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 stirring. And this is a very unpleasant looking mess, because it's all kind of lumpy and stuff, but it's trust me, trust the process. See how it's kind of lumpy and thickening? Yeah, trust the process. So now we need to add even more milk, because this is not a medium sauce. This is a thick white sauce right now, which is what you would use if you were making like yeah, you don't even use it this phase. We need to add more milk. So now our third milk, which is this, what's left of this half and half, we're gonna throw that in there a little bit at a time. And then what we want is we want something that is a little thicker than milk, but still on the thin side. And we're kind of getting there. It's still seizing up, so there's still plenty of flour in there. You can tell my arms are getting tired. So we're gonna add a little bit more milk. I'll put the lid back on. And we're just gonna finish up this container. Now remember, it's gonna be on, you want it on the thin side, because the potatoes have starch in them too, and they're going to also thicken this gravy. So you want it, or this white sauce, so you want it a little on the thin side. It's still a little thick, so I'm going to add one more can of milk to it. So I'll be right back. Okay, remember, church key, and shake well. It warns you. So we're gonna open this puppy up, and then we're going to add maybe, doing about a half a can, because it's just right about the consistency I want. So you see that? It's a little on the thin side, a little thin, a little thick. Yeah, just like me, little thin, little thick. So you just keep on going. And we want to cook this for about 5 minutes. Just give it enough time for the gravy to do what it's going to do with the starch molecules. What you want is you want it to do that on the back of your spoon, and then it's pretty well ready. So, but I want to cook it just a little bit more, just give those starch molecules a chance, and to see what the consistency of the sauce is, so that when I pour it onto the scallops, potatoes, it does what it's going to do. So I'll be back in a minute while this cooks a bit. Oh, I've started to film and I didn't even know it. Well, okay, I added the rest of the can because I thought, you know, that can's going to sit in my fridge and I'm not going to use it, so might as well use it because we got a lot of potatoes, and the potatotes are on the done side, and we got a lot of, so now I've got like this is a 6 quart, so now I've got 3 quarts of white sauce. So we're gonna use it, trust me. Now the last thing that I want to do, as I mentioned, is I want to throw little Tony's in here. So about that much. That look good? Does that look good to you? That looks good to me. So, and then I've layered the rest of my ham and my potatoes, and we have Baku and Amber waiting for any kind of possible ham snack. But they've already gotten their ham snack, so no more ham snacks. So everything is now ready to assemble. I've got my oven preheating for 350, magic number. That was always my mom's magic number. Everything cooks at 350. And so now I'm going to start ladling this sauce over my potatoes. Whoops, whoops, knocked you out of the side. Okay, so the sauce is, like I said, you know, it's coating the back of a spoon, which that means that it's done. See how it coats? See how it coats the back of a spoon? Needs a little more Tony's. It's kind of bland. You know, I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper too, because you know, life is good. Salt is always good. So a little bit of salt, a couple of pinches, and then on the pepper side, we'll just do a couple of grates. So, be right back. Yeah, that'll be good. Got a little pepper going on in there. So this white sauce is ready to go. So we're going to turn it off, and we're going to start ladling it over our sliced potatoes. So. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start in 1/4, and I'm just going to start adding this sauce all the way across the potatoes. Let them all seep in there. Now if I have any white sauce left over, I can brown up some gravy, make myself brown up some gravy, brown up some sausage, and make myself some sausage gravy. And it looks like I'm going to have a little bit of white sauce left over, which is totally fine. There's all kinds of fun things you can do with some white sauce. Now, if you want, you can cover this with a little bit of breadcrumbs. I like to use just like a stuffing mix. So I just got like a little stuffing mix, and because it makes it a festive thing, and plus it gives you a little bit of crunch, and it adds some flavor. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit over the top. Notice no cheese? No, there's no cheese. Not in this recipe. Oh, that smells good. Because it's like turkey stuffing, so it's got like poultry seasoning. So a little bit of that, a little bit of that. And once it goes in the oven, it only takes about 30 minutes to cook. So, and then we'll be done. So there we go. So our scalloped potatoes are ready to go. We're going to stick them in the oven. And I'll see you in about 30 minutes. So as I mentioned, I have more white sauce than I have scalloped potatoes. So I've got like maybe, I don't know, about 1.5 cups left in here. So what I did was I fried off some gravy. I fried off some sausage that I had, and I'm just going to put this sausage in the white sauce. And guess what I made? Sausage gravy. Yeah. So, and then the scalloped potatoes are still cooking and doing really, really well. So we're just waiting for them to finish up. And since I've got the oven set at 350 and I'm making the sausage gravy, I am also making a I'm also making biscuits. So we'll have like 3 meals, which is easy for me. But because these are popular meals, they're probably going to go pretty quickly. So anyways, I'll see you in a minute. All right, we've done it. We've pulled the scalloped potatoes out of the oven, and we've got bubbly, golden brown deliciousness, and that is what the boys are having for supper. And the sausage gravy disappeared. So anyways, until next time, don't forget, I love ya, and ta-ta for now.